Welcome, everybody, to the Friar Talk podcast and YouTube channel. So for today's episode, we're going to be talking about Jorge Soler and Nelson Cruz and kind of doing a comparison episode. We haven't really done many of these in the past, but when you're looking at the DH spot, we're expecting it to be implemented in the NL, and the Padres don't really have someone for that spot. Now, 2 days ago on Tuesday, we posted a video about Nelson Cruz and about him being a fit in San Diego. We wanted to do one. So for this video, we are going to talk a little bit more about Jorge Soler, and we'll get into Nelson Cruz briefly. But if you want to hear a deeper discussion on him, go back to the video a couple days ago. But Isaac, lead it off, man. How are you feeling? Jorge Soler versus Nelson Cruz. What do you think about Jorge Soler?
Yeah, so we talked about this in our group chat yesterday when we were talking about Nelson Cruz and that tweet that had Padres Twitter going crazy. I don't think Nelson Cruz is a bad addition. I just personally, I would rather have Jorge Soler. Now that's not to knock Nelson Cruz, and that's not to spark a debate like, oh, you're dumb, it's not to spark any sort of debate. I just think, he's younger. I think he's got a lot of upside considering the age, and I mean, for all of us that love seeing bombs, how about that bomb that he hit in the first inning of the world? I think it was the first inning of the World Series that probably, I think, hit the train tracks maybe. I don't know, but it was a bomb. We pulled up Nelson Cruz's baseball savant page and the Nelson Cruz video. So, like Matt said, go check that out. But we were looking at Jorge Soler's baseball savant page, and there's a lot of red on that too. Average exit velocity, or max exit velocity, I'm sorry, is in the 99th percentile. Like, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, pulling it up right now, that's pretty dang good. A lot of red right there. Yeah, I mean, strikes out. I don't think he strikes out that much. He only struck out like 28% of the time this year. I think that's around Fernando's strikeout rate. So not that bad. Obviously not the best outfielder, but we're not getting him to be an outfielder. We're getting him to be our DH. And, if God doesn't bless us this year, if the baseball gods don't bless us this year, yeah, he might need to play some outfield. But that'd be worst case scenario. I mean, pulling up his numbers, in the 1 year he did play a full season, he played a full 162 games. He hit 48 home runs, struck out a league high 178 times, but that was in almost 600 at-bats, batted .265 with a .922 OPS and a .137 OPS plus. In a full 162 game season, that's what he did. And, I mean, that would be probably the second or third best season on our team last year, and he would have led our team in home runs. Now going back to 2021, he played in 149 games, 516 at-bats, with only a .223 batting average, but a .432 slugging percentage and a .749 OPS with only a .97 OPS plus. So obviously it's not the best in numbers, but when he got to Atlanta is when he started to pop off. He had like a 265 batting average, 265 batting average with an 882 OPS. And a 358 on base percentage. So we started seeing really good things out of Jorge Soler when he got a change of scenery, when he got into a good lineup, and that's what he would be doing with the Padres. Maybe not the best line, maybe not a better lineup than the Braves, but he'd be getting plugged into the Machado, Tatis, Cronenworth, and I'd assume he'd bat fourth or fifth, and he'd be the one bringing those guys in. So realistically, I think you can get him for around 8 to 10 million, and maybe pushing 12. But 8 to 12 is the money spot for him, considering Nelson Cruz's value is around 14 million right now, is what I saw. So I think Jorge Soler would be a little cheaper. I think you can get him on a 2 or 3 year deal. And I think if you're able to maximize his skill set with the new hitting coach, who worked with the Giants and is going to really emphasize, he should be really emphasizing launch angle. If we go based off what the Giants did last year, they emphasized launch angle and getting the ball in the air. If he's able to get that out of Jorge Soler, we could see around 30 plus bombs with a 820, 830 OPS for 2 or 3 years. I'll take that over 1 year. And also, I'm willing to bank that Jorge Soler will have the longevity. He might be a little inconsistent, but I just think that's what you're going to get out of him. You're going to get those hot streaks and the cold streaks. Nelson Cruz might be a little more consistent, but he fell off a little bit, and I don't know if I'm willing to take that risk. I know a lot of people are. It's a risk worth taking for sure, but I'll take Soler.
I know, on the same boat with Isaac. Jorge Soler's baseball savant page jumps off at you, man. I mean, kind of looking at what he did in the World Series, whenever there was a moment where Jorge Soler needed to perform, he performed and then some. I mean, whether it was answering back from the Astros hitting a home run, he'd come up the next inning, hit a home run to give the Braves the lead. He was one of the main reasons the Braves made it to the World Series and won the World Series. Kind of having that experience in the lineup, having a guy that's been there, having a guy that's performed when he's needed to, it's huge. And not only that, like Isaac said, he's younger. You can get him on a multi-year deal for a little bit cheaper than Nelson Cruz. And even worst case scenario, if he's not your DH, he's also a depth outfielder who, yeah, you really don't want him to play outfield because we saw it. His sprint speed is not the greatest. His outs above average isn't the greatest. And neither is his jump to the ball. It's not great. But what you're getting out of him from the bat makes up for all of that. Like I said, you're really not going to use him for the outfield unless you really need to. Like, say Myers gets hurt or whoever we put in left field gets hurt. He can be used as a depth piece, or if not, hey, go play the outfield this one day because we need a break. This guy needs a break. I don't think Nelson Cruz can provide that versatility. He is getting old. You really don't want to see Nelson Cruz fielding out there in right field. I think it's going to look worse than when Franmil was out there. It's just not something you want to see. And like I said, I think if the way that he played in the postseason, I think you need that experience in this lineup. He's electric when he hits home runs. He's got the swagger that Isaac loves. I mean, what more could you want out of a guy? And he's cheap. What more could you want out of a guy? I think he's a perfect fit for the Padres. He gets his launch angle up more. Like Isaac said, his best season in 162 games was 48 home runs. A guy is practically locked for 30-plus home runs with a capstone of 45. I mean, he's a perfect fit for the lineup, and he's going to be cheap. So I'm going with Jorge Soler.
So I definitely like Jorge Soler. I mean, I like both these guys, and I think we all do. I think if either person is added to the Padres, I think all three of us will be very happy with that. I mean, you guys would still be happy with Nelson Cruz. I think it's more of just there is a larger upside with Soler when you consider that it's probably going to be like a 3-year deal for less money. And Nelson Cruz is probably going to play this year and maybe one more and retire, or maybe just this year and retire. Like, it's only going to be a 1-year deal. So I think that in that sense, it makes a little bit more sense to go Soler. However, if we're looking at where the Padres are at, for DH, I would rather just see like a stopgap option kind of. Just 1 year. 1-year deal. See if Mears, I don't know. I think it's probably a little too early for Wood, but like maybe someone in the minors is able to come up, right? Maybe Mears is that guy. Onya is a great one because he's probably going to be ready after this season. We almost saw him, if not for injury, he could be the DH right now. But you look at these guys, and I think Nelson Cruz is more likely to have a more productive season next year. That's why I go with him. However, if you're trying to find a guy that can be a DH for 3 years, then Jorge Soler is definitely the best option, especially when you look at some of the guys that are available. There's a couple decent ones, but I mean, I like the numbers a lot. I think that if you get stuck in last year's stats, it gets kind of tough. But then if you look at the Braves and you look at 2019, you go, oh yeah, if we could get that 2019 season out of this dude, yeah, we would take that. We would 100% take that because that's something that the Padres just have not had. And you see the immense power. You see the home runs. Like he's smoking these balls. So I like it. I definitely like it. I think 8 to 10 for him, and then like 10 to 12 for Cruz, and then like a 1-year deal compared to a 3 is probably the difference. So like you said, Isaac, a little different. I think you had the price ranges a little bit different than I'm kind of expecting, but still pretty close. And a pretty similar mindset. But anything else you guys want to add? And also, we didn't really talk much about Nelson Cruz in this one, but like I said, you can go back to the one. Don't worry, it is positive. It's not like we're just out here like, yeah, forget Nelson Cruz. Let's just not sign him. We would be stoked if we could get Nelson Cruz. But anything else you guys want to add?
Yeah, Nelson Cruz, I mean, that's one of the most consistent hitters in all of baseball. So it's definitely not saying that we wouldn't like Nelson Cruz. It's just, that we have preferences. And for anyone who doesn't know, if you go on Spot Track and look at the MLB free agents and go to designated hitter, there's four options. There's Jorge Soler, there's Nelson Cruz, there's Albert Pujols, and there's Chris Davis. Not the Chris Davis from the Orioles, the Chris Davis that played for the A's. So, I mean, I sure hope you're eliminating at least two of them, being Albert Pujols and Chris Davis. And so that really just narrows it down to Nelson Cruz and Jorge Soler. And that's not bringing up guys that could DH, Kyle Schwarber and Nick Castellanos are some guys that people have brought up being linked to the Padres or maybe being good fit for the Padres. And we don't, I mean, I would hate it if Nick Castellanos was a Padre. I'll say that off the bat. Schwarber, maybe. But we just want, I think we're all three in consensus that a cheap DH that could give us 30 or 40 bombs is all we need. We don't need one of those big names. And I know that's what Preller likes, but we don't need one of those. So, going back to Soler, yeah, it would be great to have that, 162 game season that he had, I think it was 2019. It'd be great to get that out of him. And I know he's only had one season over 30 home runs, but this past one, he hit 27 in 149 games. And the other ones, he didn't get many games in. I mean, I'm pretty sure some of them he was at least on track for 27 plus or 30. So, I mean, 27 would have been what, third or fourth on our team, I want to say, somewhere in there. So, I'll gladly take the 27. Second, how many did Manny hit? Like 28, right? Matt will bring that up. But yeah, good second or third on our team. And I would gladly take the 27 homers that he could provide. And I mentioned the upside. Guys, like, you're getting this new hitting coach that's supposed to emphasize this launch angle, right? And that's where you're going to get the maximization out of hopefully Will Myers. Hopefully, I really hope Eric Hosmer's not on our team anymore, but that's where I'd hope you get Eric Hosmer to finally get the ball in the air. But that's where you would finally start to see, okay, let's get Jorge Soler in the lineup and let's see if he can. It doesn't seem like it's too many ground balls. Let's see if he can get the 30 plus bombs with the new culture in the organization. So who was second though? Was it Manny? It was Manny, right?
Yeah, he would have 28.
28. Okay, so it would have been third.
Yeah. Chase, anything else you wanted to add?
No, like I said, Isaac mentions the hitting coach, Eric Hosmer. I'm not expecting him to get his launch angle up. We've seen his comments in the past on not wanting to improve his swing. If we get Will Myers back to his 2020 form or his 2019 form or 2016, any of those years, you'd get a guy that can potentially be like a 20 stolen bases, 30 home runs. I mean, his potential's up there. We just haven't seen it. There's been a lot of injuries for the guy. But you add a DH like Nelson Cruz or Jorge Soler, either or, and you get Will Myers back. I think that's a lineup that, you get one of those lineups that's actually the top end of the league, minus Eric Hosmer. But hey, you get that, you have a real shot at playoffs, and you're one of the teams that should be a league like top of the contenders. You're not like, oh, we're right there, we're on the edge of being a contender. No, you should be a legit contender if you get a real DH and Will Myers back to form.
Yeah. Exciting stuff. Hopefully the Padres are able to add an impact bat. And like we said, I think either one of these guys we'd be very happy with. It helps the Padres immediately. They need an impact bat very, very badly. Jorge Soler, Nelson Cruz, they can both bring that. Chase and Isaac kind of leaning towards Jorge Soler. I'm going to lean towards Nelson Cruz, but definitely see like the argument for each person a little bit, almost like a little bit short term, probably better results this next year. Expecting that compared to a little bit longer term, better results over the next 3 years. But let us know what you guys think, who you rocking with. But yeah, that's going to do it for today's episode. So next couple days, I think we're going to do a quick episode on Barry Bonds being in the Hall of Fame. And then I think we're going to be talking about Preller's trades and whatnot. But besides that, that's going to do it for today's episode. So thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you guys very soon.